Because I know you have a really strong musical background, an instrument background, and having seen you perform before, you were a very musical performer. So could you talk to us a little bit about how the music sometimes can dictate what it is that you do in your act, whether you choose to go more tech, more movement? There are a few points where you just paused and almost stopped, and how that works with your choreography with the music.
Sure. To me, it's more important to perform to the music than it is to perform the hardest tricks I know. There were a couple things in here that are pushing what I'm capable of performing, but just so, it needs to be to the beat, especially if you have an object like this, which is so punctuated and so much of a visual tempo marking. And that was important, to pay attention to that, see what moves could be done in the tempo of the piece, because some things just can't with this particular ride. When the music called for a stop, when there was a change from a chorus to a verse to whatever that might have been, that seemed to be a great time to just take a breath for myself or the audience. Breathe for a second and then start again.
Thank you.
So I'm here to ask about performance in theater and that sort of part of the problem. As we all know, in the world of performance, things change all the time. For example, sometimes you think you're performing outside and it's going to be warm, and then it turns out it's raining and cold and windy, and we move to the indoors and you have to change your act at the last minute.
It's possible.
What do you want to tell us about rolling with it?
You have to. You have to. There's no other option. I was supposed to, strange word, I had intended to perform a fire nunchuck piece instead. And then I heard that we were going to be in here, and I decided that I wanted to do something more suitable to an indoor venue. And so I had yesterday and this morning to brush up on the piece you guys just saw, and do my best to breathe throughout that process and to keep track of where I was and to play a good head game with myself, feel good about it, so that no matter what happened out here, I would leave, hopefully everyone else would leave, feeling like they had a good time and like they were entertained.
So in our process to also create great pieces, much like we just saw, to ask about technical, juggling is incredibly technical, and your skill, I've watched it through the last couple of years, is really great. Thanks for sharing. You mentioned something earlier, it's very interesting. You were performing to the level you feel, you made the comment, the level you feel comfortable performing. Expand with all of us what you meant by that and how we all can think about that when we're putting performances together.
I find it difficult to self-motivate past a certain level. If I hit a plateau in something, I find it really hard to push myself to get past it. So, a scary thing that I do is I choreograph tricks that I really shouldn't be choreographing into routines to encourage myself to work in. More or less success on occasion. So, as a means of self-motivation, that can be a way to drive progress and to say, oh, that thing, it's almost there. It's like 25%. It really should be at 80.